Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. And we are finally on to, I'm sure, some people's favorite episode. It is definitely in my top 10, and that is the famous, infamous, however you want to describe it, episode where everybody So let's get into it. Just one quick plug to say, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe because we are starting to get a lot of season 2 news and they are still filming for now. I am keeping a really close eye on it, so I will let you guys know if anything changes. And if you subscribe, like any of my L Word videos and comment on any of the L Word videos, you'll be entered into a draw to win one of my pieces of merch, and you get to decide what you want. I have the OG cast and the Generation Q cast shirts, and also there will be some pieces tonight that I hopefully will be launching, so look out for those. They're very simple because obviously I do not own the L Word, so I cannot use any of their images, so we are kind of limited to words. But if anyone out there is really good at graphic design or an artist, please get in touch with me and I'd love to collaborate with you and see if we could do some cool other shirts. Also, I am really trying to get this video up before my live tonight. It probably will happen, so as long as YouTube uploading time isn't too bad today, but as most of the world is on lockdown, it might be. So if you're seeing this after my live, sorry, but let's get right into it without any further ado. Season 5, Episode 9, Liquid Heat. So we have something kind of unique to season 5 happen here, where this really doesn't happen a lot on the L Word, where I can't even call it a cold open because we have the opening scene with Jenny and Tina on set and the rolling blackouts. They're doing the scene with Jesse and Jim, and when they do the opener, they go straight back into that scene after the credits, which only happens a handful of times on the L Word. But we do have the rolling blackouts causing major issues. You know, Tina has a bit of a fit in the opening, and Jenny, Nikki, and Greg go through this whole, you know, Nikki and Greg have obviously hooked up, and as Jenny says, they've tampered with the chemistry. And the way they've done the whole Lay Girls and these scenes that they're doing in this episode, it's really accurate to what goes on a movie set. I have spoken before about I used to be on a lot of sets when I was a kid, and through my teenage years I was on a set with, it's like a Johnny Depp movie called The Libertine, and it had like nudity and stuff in it, so I got to see from that side like how they usually shoot those things. And I always think it's really amusing when people, you know, talk about sex scenes and things like that, and how, oh, are they really, you know, doing what they're doing? And sex scenes are not comfortable or fun, or that you're literally sitting there with like, I mean, now it's different with COVID, I'm sure, but you know, at any one time there could be like 50 people around you and their jobs are all to watch exactly what's going on. I mean, Jenny has the screen, everything, like that's what happens. So it's and every single move, every single like hand gesture or word, everything is completely crafted. Like there really isn't a lot of improvisation, but sometimes, especially on a show like the L Word, where one, it's 2 women, and I mean, read any interview with any of the cast, like all they talk about is how much easier and how much better it is doing a sex scene with a woman, because they're, you know, you can talk about things, they're more understanding, like they're not coming at it from the way a man would. And even more so the fact that this is a show, these people known each other a long time, they know the characters really well, which is another key thing about television shows that you don't always get on film. And the actresses will sit down and talk about it, go through rehearsals, go through all these things, and they will craft out the scene. And in between takes, they may say, hey, I don't think this worked, can I do this? Do you mind if I do this, or like grab you here or do that? But it's really, really crafted, and it's not as like free-flowing and sporadic as some people would think it is. It, as much as like a stunt is coordinated, it's very much like that with any sort of kissing or love scene. So Jenny, throughout this episode, she kind of goes through, you know, the ringer a bit with Nikki, and she fires Greg at one stage, and Jenny is really heartbroken over Nikki and writes the letter, and it's just, this is Adele at her full power. She's really, really laid everything out. And as we know, next episode, I don't want to say any spoilers, but Adele's really laid her trap well here, and she is just really gunning for Jenny without Jenny or anyone being aware. If anything, like, Tina's kind of brought her in to be like a confidant as well, and Adele is just manipulating everyone around her, even William and everyone pretty much on set. Kit does have the great scene in this episode at the She Bar mob setting, and I love this scene, and I don't think it gets enough recognition because it's in this episode where there's so much else that happens that people like, that it's so funny. I really, really enjoy it. I love the whole way like Bette is just like bedding the whole time. And even like the little tiny things, like the way they have the fan like batten things that have Cindy on them and Dawn, the whole setting, the way the lighting is, like they really did an awesome job with this. It's so funny, and they're obviously continuing the whole Shane, Denbo, Cindy still liking Shane thing. It's Mia Kirshner also brilliant. Everyone is amazing in this scene, and it is one of the funniest scenes in the L Word. I really, really love it, and it's just hilarious. Shane in this episode, as she describes herself, she's got a straight girl crush that won't go away. And we do see, you know, her and Molly at the planet. Molly's ex-boyfriend Richard has shown up, and Molly is over Richard, wants rid of him, thinks he's just, you know, some fratty oil guy. And Phyllis is hellbent on Molly being this lawyer, cookie cutter, 2.5 children thing, which is really interesting considering Phyllis basically did that and became, you know, the epitome of rich, white, children, house, car, everything. And Molly is saying to her, like, I want to explore these feelings I have for Shane. And Phyllis, who has had to put off like her lesbian adolescence to so far in her life, and she's kind of always saying, you know, she wished she was able to do this when she was younger. And she's kind of denying her daughter the same thing, which is kind of odd. It's kind of like, okay, it's okay for me, but it's not okay for my children because I have certain expectations of you. And I mean, I think a lot of people can identify with that.
I mean, people definitely have expectations for their children, in the sense that I know a lot of gay people who, when they were coming out, it's like their parents had this thought in their head of, I want my child to have this wedding and have these children and all this. And people who are gay can still have that, but it's just a slightly different picture. And I think that's more people my age, like I'm 34, and when I was coming out when I was like 20, 21, like my parents were really good about, and my dad couldn't care less, my siblings couldn't care less, no one cares in my family. They're just like, oh, it's just part of who you are. But my mum, in the beginning, I think she had this kind of, ooh, well, I had this expectation. And I think now people are realizing that, especially now that gay marriage is legal, like people are realizing, okay, it's just going to be with a woman instead of a man, but people are who they are, they're going to do what they're going to do, and it's just your child can still do all these things and have every future thing that you wanted for them, but the picture just looks a little bit different to what maybe you had. And I just think it's odd that Phyllis, who, whether it was denied by herself or denied by society, wasn't able to live the life she should have as like an open and out and proud woman, which things would have been different because she was a different age, but still it's really interesting that Phyllis is denying this to her child when it's something she so desperately wished she could have had herself. Max, in this episode, there is a really difficult scene in that the scene in the planet where Alice is doing the podcast, and oh boy, it's a really problematic scene. And I've said this every episode, I think, in season 5, but if you have not seen Disclosure and you still haven't seen it yet, and I've been saying this for like 9 episodes, please go and watch it for this scene especially, because one, it is explained in Disclosure way better than I could ever explain it, because they go over the whole character of Max and why doing what they did in that scene with Alice and basically being annoyed that she was being told, hey, you shouldn't be discriminating against trans people. Like, Alice was kind of speaking for the writers there because they were getting backlash over the Max character. So please go and watch Disclosure. It's an amazing documentary on its own, but if you're an L Word fan, it is a must. Goes over Max, and as I've also said throughout season 5, Jamie Clayton, who's Tess in Generation Q, and Leo Sheng, who plays Micah, are both in it as well. Alice and Tasha aren't in the episode crazy amounts. They do go to the She Bar mob scene, which is brilliant, and we do also get their very hot scene at the end with the ice cube, and just great scene, love them, no notes, amazing work, ladies. And so we come to one of the bigger focuses of the episode, Bette and Tina. And just to start off this section of the video, the award-winning Bette and Tina scene. And if you have not seen Laurel Holloman accepting the award for this scene, please let me treat you right now, and I'm going to drop the clip in here because it is amazing.
And the A-list sexiest TV moment is the L World. The L Word, sorry. The elevator scene. This is like a prop on my show. I don't know if anyone saw the rest of the scene, but I sat on Jennifer's face. So I just want to say that I think television's getting very progressive if you can sit on a girl's face and win an award. So I don't understand this Prop 8 thing.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that little clip, because I remember specifically watching this, I think it was Bravo, I'm pretty sure it was Bravo, Television Awards, just because I knew the L Word was nominated. And I remember when they won, I was so happy. Like, one of my friends from university who used to come over and watch the L Word every Sunday, her and I were just so happy that the L Word has won. And if you notice, Laurel Holloman referenced Prop 8 in her speech, and that whole thing was going on then, and it was just, I remember just being so happy. and especially this scene, such a good scene. And also Laurel Holloman just killed it. Like the way she just went up and was like, television is moving on, this is great. Although I think we'd want it to have moved on a little bit more by now, because the L Word is still the only show, apart from Generation Q, but it's the L Word rebooted. And you know, she doesn't go into this whole big song and dance message and everything. She just absolutely goes up there and is like, it's on Jennifer's face. And then she's just like, screw Prop 8. She nailed it. Like, I do not know how you could watch this clip and not love Laurel Holloman. Like, bravo, she did amazing. Keeping up on my Bette Tina fashion watch, sometimes, as I've told you guys, I do kind of try and like emulate a lot of what they wear. This shirt is very similar to one that Bette wears next episode in Life Cycle, so look out for that. But I definitely Bette and Tina's outfit from the elevator scene. I just love this, the whole scene. Some people I know will be like, oh, Bette and Tina, but I love the scene. It's amazing. The whole, obviously, like, the end is hot. We all know that. It's an award-winning scene. Come on, guys. But the whole leading up to it and, like, Bette and Tina talking. This is why I keep saying, Bette, please go to therapy. Because you would be so much better with therapy, but not to Dan Foxworthy. Someone that's not a rich, straight white man. But the way she says about, I worry that I'm destructive. Oh my gosh, I have said that to a therapist before because it's just so accurate. And that scene, I mean, I'm sorry, like, I feel like I'm totally fangirling over it. And maybe I'm speaking for my little 21-year-old self, who, when I watched this scene and Laurel Holloman winning an award for this scene, I was just like, this is representation, and this is why it is so important. I talk about this all the time on the channel, and I talk about this all the time in my real life. Like, I'm a lot of work, but it's just turning on a television and seeing advertisements with two women and storylines with two women that are not a big deal, and seeing television shows that have more than one token gay sidekick. It's so important for people, because I never saw anything when I was younger, and I had a really hard time and remember thinking like, oh my god, I'm this gay thing that all these people say is so terrible, and the only thing you see is like horrible stereotypes on TV. So just again, I know some people are so like not Bette and Tina fans or not this, but I totally am. And it's because when I saw them, I finally saw, this is what I want. I want what they have. And yes, are they flawed people? Are they perfect? Of course they're not perfect. They have flaws and they can work on themselves and do these things. Of course they can. But at the end of the day, they're, to me, positive representation. And just the fact that the scene is so great and they're so honest about their feelings. And again, award-winning scene. It meant so much to me as a young person, and I can look at it now through more wiser and grown-up eyes and say, okay, like, Bette should have broken up with Jodie straight away, and you know, there's a million other things that I could go on about, but the bottom line is I could literally mouth along the words because they're lasered into my brain from watching it so many times, because it meant so much and was such positive representation to me. So I hope you enjoyed that rant about why the elevator scene is so great, and overall love this episode. One of my favorite, one of my top 5, and this is the L Word at its best. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Is this one of your favorite episodes? What is your favorite scene, favorite line, favorite everything about this episode? And had you seen that award-winning speech from Laurel Holloman before, or was that your first time? So if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed that award-winning speech from Laurel Holloman, click the like button down below, as it really helps out the channel. And if you're also a subscriber, you've liked the video, make sure to comment as well, because then you'll be entered into the draw to win one of my L Word shirts. And make sure to check out my merch to support the channel if you can. Don't forget that on Fridays I go live at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and we talk about everything L Word and Generation Q Season 2, what's happening, and any news that we've discovered over the week about Season 2. I have some really cool videos planned for this weekend. I have decided that since this weekend is the 1 year anniversary of episode 6 of Generation Q, aka the episode where Tina comes back, I am going to re-watch and re-review 1 year on the episode 6 and episode 7 of season 1 of Generation Q, because although I did do them when they first aired, I watched the episode at like 5 a.m. and then did the review. I know a lot more now, I've watched it a lot more, have more thoughts, and also it was one of the first videos I ever did on YouTube, and I kind of didn't know exactly what I was doing, so I am really excited to do those this weekend. So I'm hoping to get those all filmed, edited and uploaded over the weekend, so you guys have those to look forward to. If there's anything specific you'd like me to talk about that you think I might miss, or anything at all that you want me to mention, make sure to drop it in the comment section down below also. And don't forget to follow me on social media for even more L Word content in between my videos. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you're staying safe out there, because even I'm in lockdown right now, because we had a few cases after our 7 months of no cases and having a normal life. So we're in lockdown for 3 weeks. I really hope that it squashes it and we can get back to our normal lives after that. But make sure that you're staying safe, doing everything you can to take care of yourselves. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.